A couple of weeks ago, I made a video titled Skyblock's Greatest Problem, or something along those lines. In that video, I discussed basically how prominent it is nowadays for people to get ratted and for people to attempt to rat people. Essentially, tons of people try to find a dungeon party, and all of them have this message or something similar. S plus perm, VC, no need to talk. Of course, you know, need to be in a VC but not talking makes so much sense. When you join a party like this, they'll warp you to their island, they'll usually have a sign down, you'll be trapped in a box, they'll be telling you that they're muted, and that you need to join the Discord server and get into the call, so basically you can communicate with them in the dungeon. You join the Discord server, you verify with your Microsoft account, and you get ratted. I think it's pretty clear to say that ratting is one of the biggest problems that Hypixel Skyblock players face, along with being kicked from the server and being locked out of Skyblock for a minute. It is the end of the world. But it isn't just verifying through dodgy Discord servers that get a lot of people ratted. Downloading fake mods has got to be probably up there with one of the most common ways that people get ratted on Skyblock. Now, of course, the security sloth is not really doing a whole lot about it. But why does this happen? Well, to sum it up, nobody wants to play Hypixel Skyblock without mods. Without quality of life mods, Skyblock can be, not a great experience. Now sure, you never know what you're missing out on if you actually never have what you've missed out on. People who have gaming monitors say, oh, I don't know how people play on a 60Hz screen, but people who have always played on a 60Hz screen will never know what it's like to play on anything higher. This leaves Skyblock players with a few different choices. You could play on vanilla Minecraft, have no mods, and have a very, very bland and miserable Skyblock experience. You could download a client that has all the mods pre-installed, and when I say all the mods, I mean all the mods that are included in that client. Or you could download Forge and download individual mods that you want to improve your gameplay. Now, presuming playing with mods isn't an option, you've got two options. You either download Forge and download all individual mods, or you download a client. Now, first of all, I'm going to talk about clients. What options do you really have? Before we go any further, if you are planning on purchasing anything from the Hypixel store, make sure to use code NITROS and get yourself 5% off. Also, you should subscribe to the channel. We're aiming for 100k subscribers before the end of this year, and if you're not subscribed and you do watch the videos, it would help out a lot if you would. And finally, you should join the Discord server. It's linked in the description of this video. We offer slayers and dungeon carries, so if you need carries or want to carry make some coins, make sure to join. Well, first of all, you've got Badlion Client. Badlion Client is great for performance, in terms of loading the game up and frames per second. However, there is 100% limitations with the mods that it actually has. You can't download external mods with Badlion, you can only use the mods that it has in the client. Along with that, I think some people do just refuse to use it because it doesn't have the greatest reputation. I guess you could also include Luna Client. Luna Client is decent for performance, however it doesn't have any Skyblock mods, so yeah. How about Feather Client? Unlike Badlion, you're able to add your own mods into Feather Client. It used to be a paid client, but now it's free. Also, it does have a lot of cool features. The thing is, if you do see a mod that you want that isn't on Feather Client, that means you still have to basically source the mod yourself, meaning that you still have to manually download a mod, basically risking being ratted. I mean, that's the reality. Also, there was a lot of licensing issues with Feather in the past, also whereby there was rumours that they stole mods and also code for the client. It's not a terrible option. How about something like Sky Client? Well, first of all, Sky Client is a client with, I guess, pretty much nearly every mod that you could ever think of already installed on the client. Meaning that you're not really going to have to source any of your mods yourself unless they're really, really, really niche and, I guess, not very well known. The downside to Sky Client is, well, first of all, it has all of the mods installed on there, meaning that performance probably won't be as good as something like Badlion or maybe even Feather. There are quite a lot of individual instances where people seem to struggle simply loading the game up and have trouble with mods clashing in the mod pack and then with the mods on Sky Client, but we could just put that down to user error. There was also a situation a while back whereby people installing Sky Client unknowingly installed a fake version of SkyTills and got ratted. Something that most probably won't happen again. But I guess what I'm trying to really say is every client that you could really turn to definitely has its positives, but also has pretty firm drawbacks. Instead of using a client, sure, you could turn to, I guess, downloading all of your own mods on Forge. Unless you know what you're looking for, then I guess this is where a lot of people get ratted. And I guess because majority of the clients have, I guess, one or two pretty big drawbacks, a lot of people turn to Forge, basically making this whole situation quite a big issue. Now, I'm going to take a step back and I'm just going to discuss how I play Skyblock. Okay, I have Badlion installed, and I also have Forge installed. I have all separate mods installed that I need. And here's what I've personally noticed. I like Badlion because of how smooth the game runs. Sometimes Forge can feel a little bit clunky, whereas Badlion feels really smooth. From clicking launch on Badlion client to basically being in Hypixel, maybe takes about 10 seconds. On Forge, that probably varies anything between 45 seconds to maybe a minute and 15. Now, of course, this could potentially be down to maybe just my computer. However, you know, Badlion loading in 15 seconds and Forge taking a lot longer to load kind of seems pretty conclusive. On the other hand, for Forge, there is just more mods. There just is. I guess the possibilities are endless. Badlion limited to what's on the client. You can't add external mods. Of course, that could potentially be good because it reduces the risk of people getting ratted, but the quality of life and the experience on Forge is probably better, considering, I don't know, if you want a mod that helps you, I guess, auction house flip, or just simply be able to be a little bit more specific in your searches on the auction house, maybe looking at the attributes on items as well as the actual item itself, then you can do that. On Badlion, you just simply can't. I know there are a lot of mods in terms of dungeons that people would like, but they just aren't on Badlion, and I guess that probably goes throughout the game as well. So for me personally, if I'm doing anything to do with the auction house, I'll switch to Forge, and dungeons I'll probably switch to Badlion because it just runs a little bit smoother, and there's just little things like that. But I think the main issue with Forge is having to download all of your own mods, and realistically there's issues with every client. Those issues basically force people's hand into getting Forge and risking downloading all of the mods themselves. This is by no means Hypixel's issue. I mean, at the end of the day, they're not there to make a client, they're there to develop a game. But it's just pretty sad seeing the amount of people get ratted just from simply trying to make the game more enjoyable and basically playable. What I will say is some of these clients have maybe a somewhat tainted reputation, but don't let that put you off using them. It's going to be safer to use a client and not go through tons of different websites downloading different mods. The end product will be better with Forge if you have somewhat of a decent computer, because it doesn't always run massively smoothly. But this is the actual issue. This is the issue right here. Majority of people don't find clients fulfilling enough, so they'll move over to Forge and they have to download everything themselves, and that's where problems occur. Now, sure, if you're experienced in doing this and you've done it a couple of times, you know where to look for all the mods, you go to all the official Discord servers, then you'll be safe. But honestly, if we actually had figures, the amount of people that get ratted on Hypixel Skyblock every single day is scary. And like I mentioned before, ratting isn't just your Minecraft account. It's potentially on, well, depending on how you get ratted, all of your personal details on your computer, things like card details, address, and the rest of it. It's pretty scary what measures people will do just to make a few $100s off of Skyblock. Anyway, if you did enjoy today's video, make sure you leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one.